receive it. If you think it and believe it and you speak it. If you think it and believe it and decree it. Power mouth.
Hey Power Mouths, this is your personal life speaker, Glenna Oyajo, host of Power Mouth, your motivational platform that believes in speaking life to enrich life. I'm a wife, a mother, the daughter of the Most High. I'm also a life coach, motivational speaker, aka life speaker, as well as an author of self-help motivational books that are purposed to progress anyone who is committed to change. I am a top graduate in international business studies and a first-class encourager to all who needs encouragement. I am Power Mouth. Welcome back to Speaking More Life. You're here with me, Glenna Oyajo, your personal life speaker. How are you all? How are you doing? Are you doing well? I hope that you are doing extremely well. So today we are talking about the word no. The word no. The guilt-ridden word no, to be precise. Okay, guilt-ridden no. Now, how many out there of you, all my lovely Power Mouth family, okay, feels guilty when they say no? When somebody asks you to do something and you are unable to do it, and so therefore your answer is no, because obviously there's not another you, and so you can't fulfill what they are asking you to do. How many of you feel guilty? And I can see the hands raising, I can see the eyebrows raising. I can see it all. Well, you know what, for those of you where your hands or your eyebrows are raising, or you're just thinking back and thinking whether you do feel guilty when you say no, it's quite a natural thing to feel guilty when you do say no, but it isn't a bad thing when you say no. So then why do we feel guilty? I believe that if you are a naturally giving person and you genuinely do want to help people out and you want to be of assistance to people in any way that you can possible to make people's lives easier, then that guilt can kind of seep in if you aren't able to fulfill that. But like I said, there is only one of us, so that guilt has to go. I also believe that each and every person has the right to say no, not just because you can do it, that you should always, make yourself available to do it, because sometimes that can kind of put pressure on you, especially when it puts pressure on a person, when it puts pressure on a person because they're always saying yes, because they can do it, they probably have the time to do it, but then again, they're not balancing their life correctly to where they're spending like time on themselves. So I believe that, as long as a person has balance in their life, then, I believe that is a really healthy no to give to somebody, that you're always helping out, and that they should be able to understand that as well. So let us just look a little further into guilt and why we do feel guilty. Now, there are many reasons why a person may feel guilty when saying no. One reason is that, okay, so I'm going to give an example of a parent and a child. And maybe the parent wasn't really there for the child in the beginning, or at some point of their life because of maybe work commitments and everything. And they've built up a relationship and it's going really good, and the parent is giving all that they can. And the child has come to expect the parent to basically drop everything that they're doing to see to their needs, because the child, in their mind, although they love their parent, may be thinking, well, they should be really giving me this time because they didn't give me that time before. And, you know, and that's a natural way of thinking as well. A child does crave for a parent's attention. And so when there is a lack of it, you know, then that can create problems. And so therefore, when a parent acknowledges that, you know what, I need to actually spend more time with my child or pour into my child, then that is great for the child, it's great for the parent as well. But then when or where is the boundary? Okay, where is the boundary? Now, I guess it may be different if you're talking about different kind of ages. You know, if you're talking about a really, really young child, yes, come on, parents. We need to give our support as much as we can. But even in that, you need to find balance as well and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. But maybe an older child, let's say that the child that I'm speaking about is a teenager. And, you know, the very kind of start or the earlier part of their childhood was them missing their parents, their mum or their father. And now that they're in their teenage years, they're spending much more time and they're able to request a lot more things from their parents, of which that request is always met. But then, you know, the parent, they're getting tired now. Not tired of the child, but, you know, they're just physically tired as one can do, mentally tired as one can get, spiritually maybe tired as well. And they need a break themselves. But because their child is so accustomed to getting what they want, when they want, and how they want, if the parent was to decide that, you know what, no, I actually can't do it at this time, then it's going to create like a massive problem. One of it being guilt, which the parent would feel, because it would then bring them back to the memories of them not actually being there for that child. And if the child, the teenager, decides to bring that fact back up to the parent that you were never there for me before, then that causes even more guilt. So then one can have guilt in saying no and will continue to say yes, even though they are feeling extremely run down and just need some time to themselves, or they may have run out of resources. It could be money. Let's face it, you know, as children get older, they do want to get quite a few things, you know, their needs get a bit more grander, a bit more bigger. And so if you are that parent that has said, you know, I am gonna do whatever it takes to make my child happy, and I'm sure that is what all parents desire, is to make their children happy, but then at what cost? Now, that was just one example I'm giving. You know, it's not about parents and children. You know, guilt stems from anywhere, and you can get asked to do something anywhere as well, whether it's in the workplace or whatever. I just believe that, you know, if somebody genuinely cannot provide assistance, then that is fine, and they shouldn't be feeling guilty. And, you know, it could be they can't genuinely provide assistance because of how they feel. And sometimes people will actually just leave that out of the equation, that, you know what, they're not feeling too great. They need strengthening themselves. So therefore they can't take on what somebody else is actually trying to put on them, you know. And so therefore, when it comes to them having to say no, say if they are ill, then they're still feeling guilty. So what can actually be done about this creeper of a feeling guilt that comes upon most people when they say no, when really they do desire to, but they just need a little bit of time out? If the guilt is coming from a place of, you know, you're trying to make up where maybe you feel that you have lacked before, then you actually need to forgive yourself. You actually need to make up with yourself. Because if you don't, then you're always going to be feeling guilty, and not just to maybe the person that, you believe that, you should have paid more attention to, but to other people as well that may come and ask you things and you are unable to do it. You're going to feel that guilt. Also, the understanding that the word no can actually be used as a helpful way of protecting ourselves and protecting others. And so what do I mean by this? Well, I know for me, there have been times in my life where I've wanted to go down a route which was not meant for me. And it was like a big no. And I believe that that no was given to me from God, saying, no, you're not going to be walking through this door. This door is close to you. It is a no. And I believe in doing so, it was for my good. It was for my protection. Even if it looked so rosy and so good. And trust me, some of those doors looked so good. I wanted to walk through them. And when they were closed in my face and it was a big no, N-O, I was like, what? But I had peace in it because I know that it's for my good, and that not everything that seems great and fantastic is going to be great and fantastic for that person who enters into it. All right, so let's go. I'm not trying to get off track here. Yes, so our protection, even for our health, even for our, mental state as well. Protection when it comes to the other person. They could be asking for things that you're giving them, which really isn't helping them in their life, because it may be robbing them even of their independence, because they depend on you so much that they're not even given a chance to even grow. They're not given a chance to grow in life and to be dependent in life, because again, it's just this, yes, I will do it, yes. Where no, they need to kind of stand up and grow. So if we look back at that example that I gave of the teenage child and their parent, and they always really got what they want, but it was becoming quite a burden to their parent. Well, I would suggest, if I was to sit down and speak with that parent, that another way that they can give to their child is by giving them some independence, by ways of suggesting that the child, gets a little side job. It would be good for the child to earn some money, so that they can, help and fund whatever thrills that they want to get. And that will also help take the burden off the parent as well, that provides for the child anyway. But at this moment or that moment, they just need a release themselves, just to recoup themselves, just to make themselves, feel more stronger. And maybe even the child, the teenager, who would experience being in a workplace and earning their own money, will then become even more thankful and considerate towards their parents and their needs. Okay, so this comfortably brings me on to the point of manipulation. Okay, and we know that, there are people in our lives that are very, very skillful, in the art of manipulation, and it can even come from our children, but it can come from different places as well in life. It could come from, the workplace that you're in. It could come from the church that you're in. It could come from the relationships that you're in. So there are worldwide cases where people, they take advantage of people. They manipulate them in a way that, is good for their own lives, but I believe as individuals, we as we give, we give a service in whatever field it is, in the workforce, within ministry, and you're serving to the best of your ability, okay, then you are doing as much as you can. And so therefore having, wisdom about you to know when people are really taking the mickey, so to speak, they're taking full advantage of maybe your gentleness or your availability, is really key, because at some point those who are there to take advantage will basically at some point wear you down. I believe that nobody should have that much control over somebody else, but you will get people that will look at somebody else and they will play on what they feel is that person's weakness, which really isn't that person's weakness. They are just a good team player, but nonetheless it's an opportunity to take advantage of that person and make them do way over than they should be doing, so that it can help to make the other person's life easier. So wisdom is really key, and having a discerning spirit as well. Because if you don't watch yourself, if you don't keep an eye on yourself, you can lose yourself in the demands and the commands of others that has no consideration for you. Listen, I'm all for working in a spirit of excellence, but I believe that in working in a spirit of excellence, then one has to consider themselves, because if you are the one that is doing the work, okay, you need to have a balance so that you can work effectively. If you are overdoing things and you are run down and you're allowing yourself to be used and abused by people, then you will not be working effectively. You will not be effective, okay? So you need to be able to take the time out. You need to realize when you need to take the time out. You have to realize that saying no is not a bad deal. It is not a bad deal at all, okay? If you really truly can't do it, if it is causing you ill health, if it is causing you to be sick in your body, if it is causing you to have a high level of frustration, then take the time out for yourself and consider saying no. Now, this discussion here isn't one of controversy. It is one of practicality, okay? It is one to help others not feel the burden of guilt. Yes, that creeper of a feeling that creeps up on us when we really should be just shrugging it off our shoulders, because there is no need to feel guilty, especially when it comes to maintaining wellness within ourselves. And what does wellness have to do with? Yes, that's right, self-love. What I love to talk about, self-love, because it is important. Yes, it is. To love ourselves enough to know when to say no, and also when to say yes. You see, when we are at a comfortable place with ourselves in life, where we want to see ourselves, get the best out of life, then we will understand the importance of giving ourselves space, the importance of maintaining our health, the importance of maintaining our sanity, the importance of balance as well. So everything is just interlinked, and I do believe that when we do feel guilty for no apparent reason, apart from that we need to maintain ourselves and look after ourselves and pour into ourselves, because we're constantly pouring out to others, that we have to really connect again or connect further, connect closer to ourselves, to allow ourselves that freedom to thrive in life. If you are somebody that is currently dealing with, constantly feeling guilty, that it continuously forces you to say yes, and and it stops you from saying no, when that no is what's going to help you to be restored by taking the time out for yourself, then I would suggest that you need to reflect on why. Why is it you're feeling so guilty? What is the reason behind you feeling so guilty that you are unable to, say no and spare yourself from going down a road of feeling down or even feeling used? When you do get to that point of realizing, where this is all stemming from, you need to make peace with yourself. You really do. You have to also bring into remembrance that there is only one you, and that you actually have to help to preserve your health as well going forward, okay? And that you should not let any one or anything hold guilt over you as a way to make their lives easier. Listen, I'm all about having these real discussions, because these real discussions, it is crucial for our health. It really is. We are speaking more life. This is what this podcast is about, speaking more life and how you can get the best out of life, how you can enrich life. And it starts with us. So I hope that you have been blessed by this podcast today. I have been blessed by your presence. I really have. I really have. And I am praying and hoping that, you do take the steps that are necessary for you to move forward in life. So wherever you feel that you are stuck, as we have been discussing about guilt today, if it was that guilt trip thing that has been holding you back, I'm praying that you will move past it, that you will get past it. And I hope that I've given enough tips or advice, or you will consider the things that I have been saying to help you on your journey as well, into your further greatness. So you've been listening to me, your personal life speaker, Glenna Oyajo, and I will definitely check in with you next time. Our next topic, by the way, is called Shame on You. All right, I'll explain some more of that the next time. Okay, but till then, take care and continue to be blessed.
If you think it and believe it and decree it, power mountain.